Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the strangest airplane crashes in history. Buckle up because these stories are as bizarre as they are fascinating. From the vast Australian outback to the icy peaks of the Andes, we'll explore incidents that defy explanation and challenge our understanding of the skies. These aren't just tales of tragedy but stories of human resilience, remarkable luck and the occasional absurdity that life throws our way. So join me as we embark on this journey through the annals of aviation history, uncovering the strange, the unbelievable, and the truly unforgettable. The year is 1932. The Australian outback stretches before us, a vast expanse of sun-baked earth and scrubland. It's here, in this unforgiving landscape, that a most peculiar conflict is unfolding: the Great Emu War. Now, you might be picturing fierce aerial battles between fighter planes and flocks of these flightless birds. But the reality, as is often the case, is far stranger. Australia, you see, was facing an agricultural crisis. Thousands upon thousands of emus, those large, flightless birds native to the continent, were wreaking havoc on crops. Desperate times called for desperate measures, and the Australian government turned to a weapon seemingly ill-suited for the task: Lewis machine guns mounted on military trucks. The war itself was a series of largely unsuccessful attempts to cull the emu population. The birds, you see, proved surprisingly adept at evading the soldiers and their cumbersome weaponry. And it's amidst this chaos, this almost comical conflict, that our story takes an even more bizarre turn. A military plane tasked with providing aerial support to the ground troops crashed while pursuing a mob of emus. The details of the crash itself are shrouded in uncertainty, lost to the mists of time and the vastness of the outback. Some say the plane was damaged by emu fire, feathers clogging the engine. Others claim it was simply a case of pilot error, the vastness of the outback proving disorienting. Whatever the cause, the incident cemented the Great Emu War's place in the annals of history, a testament to the unpredictable nature of both nature and indeed warfare itself. Our journey takes us now to the skies above Canada, where in 1983, a routine flight became anything but. Air Canada Flight 143, a Boeing 767 carrying 69 souls, was cruising at 41,000 feet en route from Montreal to Edmonton. Unbeknownst to those on board, a seemingly mundane error had occurred during refueling. A miscalculation, a conversion from pounds to kilograms gone awry, had resulted in the aircraft taking off with less than half the fuel required for the journey. As the plane soared over Red Lake, Ontario, the unthinkable happened. The engine sputtered, coughed, and fell silent. The fuel gauges, reliant on electricity supplied by the now defunct engines, remained stubbornly stuck. Panic, understandably, rippled through the cabin. Yet, amidst the fear, a remarkable story of skill and composure was about to unfold. Captain Robert Pearson, a gliding enthusiast, recognized the gravity of the situation. His co-pilot, Maurice Quintal, began a frantic search for a suitable landing spot. Their search led them to a glimmer of hope: Gimli, Manitoba. A former Air Force base, its runway had been decommissioned, repurposed as a racetrack and recreational area. Still, it was their only option. With nerves of steel and remarkable airmanship, Captain Pearson guided the powerless plane towards Gimli, executing a perilous glide descent. On the ground below, unsuspecting onlookers at the racetrack watched in astonishment as the massive airliner descended from the sky. The landing, though rough and punctuated by the sound of screeching tires and scraping metal, was ultimately successful. The Gimli Glider, as it came to be known, had touched down, all passengers and crew miraculously unharmed. The Mediterranean Sea, a body of water steeped in history and myth, serves as the backdrop for our next tale. It's here, on a seemingly ordinary summer day in 2005, that Helios Airways Flight 522 took to the skies, carrying 121 passengers and crew from Larnaca, Cyprus to Prague, with a stopover in Athens. The flight began unremarkably, a routine hop across the Mediterranean. But high above the azure waters, a silent, insidious threat was taking hold. The Boeing 737's cabin pressurization system, designed to maintain a breathable atmosphere at altitude, had malfunctioned. As the plane climbed, the air inside the cabin thinned. Warning lights flickered in the cockpit, a symphony of alerts signaling the impending crisis. But the pilots, their minds clouded by hypoxia, the insidious effects of oxygen deprivation, failed to grasp the gravity of the situation. The plane, now on autopilot, continued its ascent, climbing ever higher into the azure expanse. Onboard passengers and crew, starved of oxygen, began to succumb to the effects of hypoxia. Confusion reigned, followed by weakness, disorientation, and, eventually, unconsciousness. The chilling silence of the ghost flight was broken only by the hiss of oxygen masks deploying, a futile gesture in a cabin now filled with passengers and crew who were no longer conscious. For hours the plane flew on, a ghost ship in the sky, its course set for Athens, its fate sealed. Greek F-16 fighter jets scrambled to intercept the unresponsive aircraft, their pilots witnessing a scene straight out of a nightmare. Inside the cockpit of the Helios Flight, the chilling sight of the pilots slumped over their controls, victims of the silent killer that had claimed the flight. The fighter pilots could only watch helplessly as the fuel-starved 737, its engines sputtering their last, plunged into the rugged hills north of Athens, the impact echoing across the tranquil landscape. Our journey takes us to the towering peaks of the Andes Mountains, a place of breathtaking beauty and unforgiving nature. It's here, amidst the icy peaks and treacherous slopes, that Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 met its tragic end in 1972. The flight, carrying a rugby team, their families and supporters, was en route from Montevideo, Uruguay, to Santiago, Chile. But as the plane navigated the treacherous mountain passes, disaster struck. Buffeted by strong winds and shrouded in thick clouds, the aircraft clipped a mountain peak, shearing off its wings and sending the fuselage tumbling down the snowy slopes. Of the 45 passengers and crew on board, only 29 survived the initial impact. Stranded at over 11,000 feet, exposed to the elements and with dwindling supplies, the survivors faced a desperate fight for survival. The freezing temperatures, the threat of avalanches and the psychological toll of their ordeal tested the limits of human endurance. Days turned into weeks, hope dwindling with each passing hour. The meager rations they had salvaged from the wreckage were quickly consumed. Faced with the unimaginable, the survivors made a harrowing decision: to consume the bodies of their deceased companions in order to survive. Their story, one of unimaginable tragedy, resilience, and the raw instinct to survive, captivated the world. After 72 agonizing days on the mountain, two of the survivors, Nando Parado and Roberto Canessa, embarked on a desperate trek for help. Their journey, a testament to human courage and determination, led them across treacherous mountain passes and through icy rivers. After 10 grueling days they stumbled upon a Chilean shepherd, their ordeal finally at an end. The rescue of the remaining survivors, a beacon of hope amidst the tragedy, gripped the world. The Andes flight disaster, a tale of unimaginable hardship and the strength of the human spirit, serves as a stark reminder of the power of nature and the will to live. Our final destination takes us to the island of Tenerife, part of Spain's Canary Islands, where a confluence of events would lead to the deadliest aviation accident in history. It was March 27, 1977, and a series of seemingly unrelated incidents would set the stage for disaster. A bomb threat at Gran Canaria Airport, a neighboring island, forced the diversion of numerous flights, including KLM Flight 4805 and Pan Am Flight 1736, both Boeing 747 jumbo jets, to the smaller Los Rodeos Airport in Tenerife. The airport, ill-equipped to handle such a large influx of aircraft, became a scene of congestion and confusion. The diverted planes, giants of the sky, were parked on the taxiways, their presence further congesting the already crowded airfield. As the day wore on and the diverted flights awaited clearance to resume their journeys, a dense fog descended upon Tenerife, enveloping the airport in an eerie blanket of white. Visibility plummeted, reducing the bustling airfield to a sea of runway lights and the muffled sounds of aircraft engines. Amidst this chaotic backdrop, a series of miscommunications and misunderstandings unfolded. KLM Flight 4805, eager to depart, began its takeoff run without clearance, its pilots unaware that Pan Am Flight 1736 was still taxiing on the same runway, shrouded in the dense fog. The result was a catastrophic collision. The KLM 747, traveling at high speed, slammed into the Pan Am jumbo jet, the impact sending shockwaves across the airfield. The Tenerife airport disaster, a tragedy born of circumstance, miscommunication, and the unforgiving nature of fog, claimed the lives of 583 people, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the unforgiving nature of aviation accidents. From the emu-filled plains of Australia to the fog-shrouded runway in Tenerife, we've journeyed through some of aviation history's most bizarre and tragic events. These stories, though often marked by tragedy, also highlight the resilience of the human spirit, the remarkable skill of pilots facing the unimaginable, and the importance of learning from the past. The skies, as we've seen, can be as unpredictable as they are beautiful. These tales serve as a reminder that even in the face of disaster, there are stories of courage, ingenuity, and the enduring strength of humanity. Thanks for watching. If you found these stories as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more intriguing content. See you next time.